I think it's the same page. Yeah. Hello. Let's see if we can have more people join. But if you were in my last stream, can you let me know in the comment section? So this will be a continuation of where we left on the last stream. So if hi, nice to learn more today. Yeah, nice to have you on the stream. So if you're on my last stream, where we discuss about what happens when you deploy, this is a continuation of that stream, which so we're going to continue from where we left. So if you were following us on the last stream, we stopped at trying to spin up our virtual machine. Okay. But if you were not in that last stream, no problems at all. Hi, hello. But if you're not in the last stream, no problem at all. I'll drop the link of the playbook we were using on the comment section. Let me drop it one at a time. So I have the GitHub repo of some of the scripts we ran, and I have the Google Playbook page. So you have that on the comment section. So this is the link to the GitHub repository where you have some of the codes that we'll be using. So we haven't actually used any of that yet. And the link also here is a link to the playbook, which is this playbook right here, which we have been using so far on the first stream. So we'll continue with that here. So the goal is to, what happens after when you click deploy. So if you're just joining, you can take a look at the playbook. You're supposed to have an AWS account. We're using an AWS account, and we're looking at how we can actually build an architecture, our infrastructure that can withstand failure. So what happens when you hit deploy? So when you go to your favorite hosting platforms and you deploy and you connect, let's say, to GitHub or from your local machine, you upload, what is happening behind the scene. So that is what we're looking at, and how we can actually build a resilient infrastructure that can withstand failure. So we are not promising that there will not be failure, there will always be failure, but we want to make sure that our system does not live in one point. Okay, how to check in? You can use the QR code on the screen right here at the top. or you can also use the link on the comment section. Just showing that on the screen right now. And I will drop that again on the comment section so you can use that link to check in. So the link on the screen, also on the comment section, and you can also use the QR code on the screen right here at the top of the screen. Yeah, at the top left. I think I already have a question. Someone asking, will you prefer AWS or Microsoft Azure? We prefer AWS or Amazon Azure, Microsoft Azure, sorry. I've used both. I won't prefer one to the other, but I think I've been using AWS often than Azure. So I don't know. I mean, they all have the same resources. Most resources is all the same, just the naming conventions change, but they're all the same. So what will I prefer if you like? If I'm trying to build a startup today and I'm presented with both of them and I'm to choose one, I'll go with AWS. Thank you. Your next question maybe why? I think AWS is a little bit flexible. Uh, for me personally, I think it's a little bit flexible and maybe easy to use compared to Azure. Azure is a little bit, I don't know, a little bit complicated. And I don't really like their naming convention. Yeah, I mean, so AWS virtual machines are called EC2s. What are they called in Azure? They are called Azure Virtual Machines, the long names. Anyways, AWS, the interface kind of fancy more than Azure personally. So yeah, I'll prefer AWS to Azure. I haven't really used Google Cloud that much, so can't really compare three of them, like when it comes to which of them. But I think I'll prefer AWS. Most startups use AWS. Uh, yeah, a lot of people that use Azure, mainly government and enterprise organizations. I mean, enterprise organizations also use AWS, but I think most startups, most of the favorite startups are plugging into AWS. So back to the continuation of what we were doing before. So far, we have launched a resource group. We have created a VPC, subnets, internet gateways. We have created route tables to connect to our gateways. We have also created security groups. Yeah, we created security groups, linked them properly. That was in phase 3 right here. So we have done that. We created a load balancer, an application load balancer security group, and we also created an EC2 security group. All right, so if you want to catch up with phase 1 to 4 that we have already done, you can check out the last stream I ran. What happens like when you actually hit deploy? So what really happens after you click deploy? That was the stream topic. So we have covered that. This stream topic is literally a continuation of what we were talking about last. So like cloud architecture, anti-patterns, what not to do, which we'll discuss at the end of the demo. So we like talk about what to do. Basically, what we'll be saying all this while is what to do, right? What to do, how to configure this to build a good architecture for your platforms, for your applications. So it's a continuation of that, and then we'll actually throw more, insight on what not to build. We'll be focusing on what to do, but what not to do. But I think the answer to that question also lies on what to do. Like everything we'll be doing, don't do the opposite, basically. But we'll take a look at that as well. So I'll continue from where we left, which was launching our EC2. So launching the app. So the first thing we did in this phase was to create an IAM role, which we have done, just to be sure. So we have done that, but I'm going to confirm where we left. But I'm pretty sure we have created an IAM role that we called let's check. Yeah, just go to IAM resources, go to roles. And if you were not on the last stream, and if you have any questions at all, like you can still ask. Anything confusing, anything you want to know, how this works or how the other thing works, just also let me know on the comment section. So this is like a quick overview of everything we're discussing. This is so still that page. So if you visit that link, I shared it earlier. I will share it again on the comment section. I just copy and paste the link. It's just an overview of what we're doing right now. So if you click on the interactive map, it gives you an overview of what we're doing. If you hover any of the icons, it gives you like description of what it is and what it does. Okay, so we're looking at the internet as a whole and how we can actually build infrastructures that can withstand failures on in the internet, right? So the internet, everybody can connect to access your application or your platform. So we created a VPC. The first thing we actually did was to create a resource group, which is like a state. So think about it like it's like you're from this state or that state. It's like a tag. So a resource group, or like think about like a big folder. We have different things inside that you can actually do it easily. Inside this folder, we have like different neighborhoods. So which is like our VPC. So it's like a giant fence around our private neighborhood. So it keeps our business private from the rest of the world. So it's like when you get into a neighborhood, there are different households. There's like these households, like the neighborhood as a whole is like a VPC. So this household, so this neighborhood is like a VPC, right? Inside a specific state or inside a specific region. So we can use regions to clarify, to describe resource groups, regions. Inside regions, you can have like neighborhoods, which are like VPCs. That inside the neighborhood, you have different households, and so that is literally what this picture right here is. And inside here is literally how inside the house. So this like inside the house, uh, what happens? You have internet gateway, which is like the way the household can communicate with the rest of the people, right? The rest of the neighborhood. So like the only way to get in and out of the neighborhood. So there's an inbound and there's an outbound. How do I get out from here and how do I get in? Which is like the internet gateway, how you can pass information from your resource or from your server to the rest of the world, and which information can come in, who have access to come into it as well. We have the route tables, which tells everyone in the neighborhood how to navigate. So there's a gateway, there's a route table that connects how paths to follow to get into the neighborhood or households. So we have the public subnet A and B. So we created two public subnets. The these are like the streets in our neighborhood, built in different availability zones for safety. This is also the second street, provide a backup if one area of the street of the city has issues. So this is literally where we are building for backup, right? So we have the house, like think about it like the house. We have your house, but you also want to have like a backup. What happens, for instance, there's an fire outburst on the house, so hey, we want to build a new house. Scales are based on CP. So we want to build a new house if something happened to this new house, so that we are not going to lack house in the neighborhood. Okay, so that's why we have like two subnets, like two public subnets, each of them doing different work. This is the main house. This is like the auto scale that spins up when something goes wrong here. And then we have our load balancer, which is like I used to use a traffic cop for examples to describe load balancers. So traffic cops, I mean, the work is to control traffic, come, stop. So they know actually when to tell the next car to come up and when to tell them to stop. So you can also use a receptionist as an example of that. So she checks the guest list and sends visitors to a healthy house. Like when you go to a hotel, the receptionist check if there's available room to book. If there is, they let you know. If there is not, they don't let you know. So that's like a load balancer. And then we have our, RAT 553 DNS and watch. Again, DNS, that's like your domain names. This is like your house addresses. Each apartment or each household has its house address that we can use to identify it. So when you visit google.com, you're literally, pinging an IP address behind the scene. And then we have CloudWatch. Think about CloudWatch like the CCTVs in the neighborhood, watching for when things go wrong, right? So this is basically what CloudWatch does. So they're literally there for keeping track of what happened, when it happened, and so forth. So this is like another view of like what we're doing and what we're trying to build. And so far, we have created our resource group, which is like the state or the region. We have created our VPC right here. We have created the internet gateway, created the route table. We have also created the public subnet A and B, right? So literally, we have also created. Have we created load balancers? No, we have not. So we are right here on creating the EC2 instance, which is like the house. And then we're also going to create auto scaling and auto scaling group, which is like what we want to do when things go wrong, how we want to build a new house if something happens. Okay, so from here we continue to create a load balancer and CloudWatch. This we are not going to touch. The reason is because you need to pay, like, so you can use the free AWS credit for RAT F3. This is like you need to buy a domain, custom domain, and so forth. So you need to pay for that. We're not going to do that because we want to run a free credit demo. Okay, so back to creating an EC2. Before that, I was trying to check if we have created the rules. And I think we have. So we created an IAM role for the CloudWatch agent, just to be sure. I'm just going to copy the name we gave it earlier and just search for that. But I think we have, let me see. Yeah, here we go. So yeah, I think we have. I called it, this was created 8 hours ago. So this is the one we just created. So I called it EC2 CloudWatch role demo. I'll get rid of this one. Okay, so we created this earlier. So next we're going to create our EC2 instance. So I'll just go back to, from the console, just go to your EC2. You can search for EC2 right here from the sidebar. I already have it pinned here for easy access. So while I'm right here, I'll just go ahead and click on create or launch instance. I can do that from here since I don't have any instances running. For the instance is like when you are buying a machine, like when you're buying a laptop, right? That's like an instance. It's a virtual machine. So you select which operating system you want to run it on. You select how many CPUs you want it to be, RAMs, and so forth. And also how to access it, like your key pairs. So that is literally what we're trying to do. So for this, I want to stick to the free trial images. So we'll be using the Amazon Linux machine image, right? We'll give it a name. Let's call it deploy demo EC2. So let's call it that. I'll select the Amazon. I mean, you have access to a whole lot of images, like machine images. Ubuntu is here, Windows is here, Mac OS is here, Though I think if you want to spin up a Mac OS virtual machine, I think there's an extra procedure or so. Yeah, I've forgotten. Ubuntu is here, Red Hat, and the rest of them. There are more. You can just click on browse more, and you can have like all the rest of them that you can choose from. Different Windows servers. I think they also have Windows 11 right inside here. Yeah, but yeah, if some of them are not free, so for this, I'm just gonna choose the free ones. So I'll choose that. So even as I've chosen the Amazon image, I also have options to choose the type of that specific image. When you buy a laptop, you could get the same laptop type and model, but different configurations, like maybe different. This could be 10 core CPUs. The other one could be uh, 8. The other could be like 16 and so forth, 32 and so forth. So like you can select a different type of image as well. Again, some are free, some are not free. So these first two are free. I'll just stick to the first one, which is free. Oops, AWS is lagging. Yeah, I'm trying to close this. It's not closing. I'll give it a few seconds. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'll just leave everything at default. The architecture, everything here default. So 64 bits. You can also choose that. Yeah, okay. So it actually has 64 bits, but either this architecture, this should be Intel, I believe so. So the instant type, this is where you can select the CPUs and RAM that you want to. I just use the free one, but if you click on it, you can actually see different instant types. Some of them come with pre-installed softwares inside, so yeah, you can literally click on that. You can see all of that. So the one we're choosing actually comes with 1 GB of RAM. You can see some comes with 2 GB of RAM. For the larger ones, four virtual CPUs. I think we have ones that are larger than that. This one is 8 CPUs, 32 GB of RAM. So these ones are not free, but yeah, you can actually make use of the free one. If you sign up for a free account, you have a $200 credit. Sorry for that. Okay, so the key pair is like what you use to log in to your virtual machine. Create one if we don't have one already. I'm not sure if I have one. I think I do. I've forgotten what I called it. Let's see. I think I called it deploy demo key. Yes, I did. But if you don't have one, click on create new key pair. Give it a name, like a test. Give it a name. You have like key pair types. RSA is usually used. You have the key 5 format. So for the PIM 5 format, this allows you to log in through Open SSH from your terminal. If you're on Windows and you have PuTTY, which is a software that you can also use to connect to a virtual machine, then you can choose this. But even though you're on Windows, you can actually use your terminal as well, right? You can actually install OpenSSH. I think Windows Terminal comes with OpenSSH automatically. But if it does not, I think you can just Google how to install that. But I think you should. I think every terminal comes with it automatically these days. But if it's not, you can just check how to install that. So PIM and create key. Once you hit this button, it will come up for you to download the key. So save it on your local machine, somewhere safe that you can access it from the terminal if you're using the PIM key. So I already created one. I don't want to recreate another one. So I'll just select the existing one. You can create, different keys, and you can reuse them. So for different instances. I already have one. And I'm not pretty sure what I called it. If it was deploy demo or deploy demo key. I'll just do a quick check to confirm. If I go to my downloads, I should be, yeah, so I call it deploy demo key. So that's good. So I'll go with this. I created it earlier on the first stream. Usually this was the step we cut off. Okay. So, well, with the key created, I want to make sure that our network settings also aligns with the VPC we created earlier. So we'll be clicking on edit network settings and we'll choose the VPC we created. The VPC we created was deploy demo VPC because we want all these things to live in the same neighborhood, right? Just like we described on our design right here. So this is the VPC. So everything we'll be doing, we want it to be inside this same VPC, which is a private, estate to say. Okay, so with that, what next do we want to do? Select the VPC, select existing security group. Security group we created earlier. Give me 1 second. That should be the EC2 security group. Yeah, this one right here. Click on advanced network configuration. I don't think we need to do any changes here. No, we don't. So the security groups here already have the subnets attached to it. So I think that covers this. If not, let me confirm from the advanced details. I think the only thing we'll be doing on the advanced details is creating a user data. Yeah, that's what we'll be doing right here. Okay, I just want to make sure of that. I'll close this for now, just to confirm we have this set up. So this is the subnet. This is the VPC, correct? Demo VPC. We have our subnet. I want to mention the subnet is the one we created earlier. Yes, it is. So the subnet, public subnet A. Okay, that's correct. Remember the public subnet A. This is the public subnet A is to house our EC2 instance, which is the virtual machine. So I want to make sure the machine we are creating has a subnet attached to it, and I think it does, which is subnet public subnet A. What's the name we gave to it? Auto assign public IP enabled. Okay, I think we're good. So we need to assign the IAM instance profile, which is the row, the IAM row we created earlier. So that should be under, let me see, advanced network security, network configuration. No, it's not right here. It should be under the advanced details. You can leave the storage default. Click on advanced details. We see, yeah, the IAM instance profile. For the one we did earlier, so I called it EC2 CloudWatch Row Demo. Yeah, that was the name. I deleted the other one, so it was the demo one right there. Okay, so with that created, yeah, leave every other detail as it is. And yeah, for the data, user data, so this is like why spinning up the machine. We want to, we want to spin up a Node.js application inside the machine at the same time. So this is like spin up this machine. Why spinning up the machine? We want to give you some instructions to do inside the machine, right? So we're not going to go into like details of deploying applications from GitHub. So it's going to be like a little bit of manual. So we're going to, spin up a Node.js inside the instance right here. So for the user data, the GitHub repository I provided. So someone asked if is this live stream not available after event end? It is. You can always find it on the GitHub repo on the GitHub. Just open that for you. So if you go to the MAhead YouTube channel, you should see all the past events right here. And I'm just going to copy the link of the last stream, that which this stream is a continuation of it, and paste it on the chat right now. But yeah, if you go to the YouTube channel, you should see past events. Okay, so this is us live. And let's see. This was 4 hours ago. This was 2 hours ago. I should be somewhere in between. Okay, honestly, the best way to do this is just search for it. So I'll just search for what really happens after you click deploy. I'm not pretty sure why this is not available right here. Yeah, not sure why it's not, but I'll try and figure that out. But this should be our last stream. Not sure why it's not available. Not sure. Yeah, well, I'll figure that out and I'll get the link properly and share. But from the YouTube channel, you can find out. Oh, look at it here. Yeah, here we are. So this is the last. This is the last. This was my last. This was my last stream, which is a continuation of the current stream right now. So I just dropped the link right there. So if in case you want to catch up with what we did before we continued the stream, the instructions are all right here on this other video. So again, yeah, you can catch up with previous streams from the YouTube channel. Okay, so back to these the GitHub repository I shared earlier. You're welcome. So I have a question. Are you using your personal AWS account? Yes, I am. And yeah, you can also use your personal AWS account. So when you ask that question, if I'm using my personal AWS account, then I'm curious of which account you expecting me to use. Yeah, personal account. Like I'm not using like a company account. So I'm using my personal AWS account. And I think everything we're doing right here, we're using the free trial. So you can sign up for a free account also if you don't have one. Yeah, you should be able to go ahead and follow the demo. So for the user data, again, we just want to spin up a Node.js application that just shows some JSON responses. On the GitHub repository, I have all the scripts that I'll be using. I just paste that link again. And you can have access to that. So this is the user data that I want to copy and paste. So literally what it's doing, again, is a Linux kernel, the Amazon Linux kernel. So we are just doing an update of the kernel, and we are installing Node.js and Niggas. And then we're just writing a file. We're creating a file and writing into it. So we're using cat to write to home ec2 user / just creating a file called app.js, and inside there we just using importing HTTP and OS, and just doing a very simple server which is just going to return hello. hello from AWS deploy, the host name, the time, and path. That's all. So just very simple. And this is basically where the code ended. We're just listing on port 300. Remember, we added the 000, which is like a white card of wherever the application is living, which will be the IP address of where the application is living. Yeah, that's pretty much what we're doing right here. And then we are writing another file, which is like deploy.service. Uh, where does that end? Yeah, so here we're just giving the needless. So we installed Niggers, so we just configure Niggers on the portal listing and the prosy to pass, which is home. Home is like where the machine is living, so the IP address will be the home. And the version and the, yeah, just pretty much making sure that our the Node.js we're running here is exposed here. So that's pretty much what we're doing. And then we are making sure that uh, we're starting the server using daemon, enable the script we just run, enable it and restart. So the application will always be on 24, like in as much as the instance is on, the application will be on. So that's pretty much what the code does. So I'll just copy that and I'll paste it right there on user data. So when the instance spins up, it goes ahead to install these dependencies and configure it automatically. Okay, so I think that's all we need to do right here. We can go ahead and click on launch instance. So this is going to take a little bit of time, like a bit of time. Let's say, I don't know, let's say a minute or maybe more. So instances takes time to launch. So let's see. So it has created, but is initializing, which is going to take time. So you need in launch initialization. I open, if I click on the instance right here, yeah, it's let's see. It says running. I just go back to instances. That will give me like a snappy overview of what's going on when it's finally launched. It will show up here. Okay, so we need to wait for the status check. Hi, midnight, midnight. Hello, happy to see you too. How are you doing? So this will take a bit of time to initialize, right? So let's give it a few time, few seconds. I can always refresh to check, but it will basically, the check should be showing 2/2 passed or 3/3 pass, all green, so we know when it's like ready to use. Okay, that was fast. So 2/2 check passed. And I think it's initialized. I think it should be working. But let's see. I'll go ahead and open it. I'll go ahead and open it. And how do I confirm? I'll open the public IP. I mean, I could just connect to it to a virtual to through terminal. But since we have an application that we are listening to that should be running on the local host, let's see. Let's see what happens if I open the address, the public IP address. Because we enabled public IP on the security group, the subnets. So I expect that this should show us the application running inside it. Looks like it's not. Let me remove the X here. I remove the X. It should be so it's not secure. Still not returning. Okay, so let's verify what's going on. So I'm going to open my terminal. So I'm going to use my time. I'm going to open my terminal right here. That's not showing on the screen. So give me one sec. I'm going to stop sharing this and I'll share the entire screen. One sec right here. Share screen. Share the entire screen. Share the screen. Add it back here. Okay, so this is the entire screen. Let me just refresh just in case it was like just time. Well, I guess it's not time. It should show us what is running on our instance. Well, looks like it's not. So let's try and fix that. Okay, so I'll open my terminal. Before I do that, I'll just go to the instance. I'll click on connect. Well, let me make sure the instance is healthy, which I think it is. Yeah, no alarm. Okay, so I'll connect to this instance from the terminal. I'll be SSHing into it. So I already downloaded. Let me bring my terminal right here again, and just zoom in. Make sure it's big enough. I think I already downloaded the pin somewhere here. Yeah, here we go. So I called it deploy demo. Yeah, that's the name I gave it. So it's right here. But I want to make it executable. The whole instructions are literally right here. Right. So open your SSH client, locate the private key. So make sure you're on the path where you downloaded your private key. And run this command if necessary to ensure your key is not publicly viewable. So I just copy that and run. This literally makes the key executable as well. Oops. Cannot access deploy key. No such file. That's strange. What was the name I gave to it? Oh, oh, okay. So this is deploy. This is deploy demo, not deploy demo EC2. Okay, one sec. Let me see. That should be on my download. Control J. Huh. Hmm. I thought I downloaded this key, but looks like I did not. What I downloaded earlier was deploy demo. The key that is attached to this instance is deploy demo hyphen key. Oh, let's see. And it's a different key. So question is, can I attach an existing key to this? Yes or no? I don't want to delete this key. So this is the key pair assigned at launch. Oops. Can I edit that or not? Okay, one sec. Let me see. So the name is demo deploy key. So I'll just go and look for it right here. I should be able to download you. Ah, I can't. Ooh. But I can create and assign. No. Okay, so I think we're stuck. We're stuck at recreating. Are we actually stuck at recreating this? Import key pair. Can I import an existing key pair? And then import the public key to Amazon EC2. Hmm. Let me see if that is possible. That should be on my download. No, dev. Somewhere here. Where are you? Not sure why I can't see it. Deploy demo new using new as a key tag. Define star returns. Yeah, it does. Yeah, I think I forgot to download the key. Oops. Okay, so one way we're gonna do this is okay, we only have one way to survive this now. I'll just go and spin up a new virtual machine and just correct that. Before I do that, I will terminate the existing one. Action, no, yeah, action. Instance state, just terminate. Okay, so should be terminating. Yeah, still shutting down. You need to take a few seconds. I want to make use of this send name, so let me wait a bit for it to terminate. It's shut down, then it will go ahead to terminate. Okay, so while waiting for it, I'll just try to launch a new one from here. Yeah, just click on launch instance. I'm just going to repeat the whole procedure again. I'll give it a name. Yeah, just select your image. I just create a new pair this time. So literally this was what went wrong. I selected an existing key, but I don't have that key already downloaded. So I'm just gonna create a new one. And this time, what should I call it? I'll call it MAH Cloud. Oops, that is it. So I have a question from Kofi. It says, I didn't create a key pair when creating the EC2 instead. Can I still SSH into it after everything? No. How did you create without a key pair? It's actually required. Like you can skip that part. Like you can skip this part. It's like you have to create a key pair to access it. Unless you selected an existing one. Then if you selected an existing one, that means you're supposed to have the existing key somewhere in your local machine saved already. But it's a required, like it's required. You can skip a key pair. So it's either you selected one. Okay, you can actually proceed without a key pair. It will just create a default value. What happens? Maybe it gives you options. I can't remember. Okay. Funny, I have not created EC2 without a key pair before. So I'm not sure if you can search into it or not without a key pair. Like, I'm not sure if you can or not. Yeah, it's like not recommended. I have not actually tried to do that before. When you go to connect from the EC2 you created, when you go to connect, is there an SSH option that shows up? Check that. But yeah, I have not done this before, like create without creating a key pair. I call this cloud MAH. That comes up for me to, I'll just save as to location I want to save it to. I want to save it in my dev directory. Yeah, just to make sure I have it showing up here. Cloud MAH, yeah, I do. Okay. Yeah, I just repeat the steps we took last time. So create a VPC, select the existing VPC, deploy demo VPC, that was the name. Make sure this is, yeah, public subnet A. As auto assign public IP enabled. Select existing security group, and we are looking for the EC2 security group we created. Select that. What next? Under advanced details, we need to make sure that the IAM instance profile, we select the one we created earlier, which is EC2 CloudWatch Row demo right there. And that takes us to our user data. Just to make sure, just to run check. So we did the name, image, key pair downloaded, VPC, security group assigned. What else? Yeah, profile assigned, then the user data. I'll just go back to the GitHub and copy the user data. Just to make sure the user data is correct. Yeah, I mean, clicking copy should copy it manually. So that should be correct. I'm just gonna check that with existing code I have. Yeah, I think that's correct. Okay, and I'll just paste that in here. I mean, I could just make it a file. I can just copy, I can just upload. But yeah, nevertheless, I just copy and paste the code in here, and I will launch the instance. I'll go back and yeah, I think it has terminated the last one. If not, it will not allow me to use that send name. Terminated. I'll close this window. This is no longer relevant. The IP address will change. And I will check the instance. Let's see. Okay, so a few minutes again, I'll give it. Just show me the instances running just one. Yeah, so just wait for the check. So few seconds. While waiting for that, if you have questions also, go ahead and ask. And I will just take a second to fill my cup with some water, and I'll be right back. Okay, right back. And hopefully our EC2 is up. Let's check. Okay, it says all checked. So 3/3 checks passed. And I'll go ahead and open it. And I'll try the public IP again. That should be this right here. Okay, open address. Let's see if our application runs. If it doesn't, we'll try to connect and see what is going on. But hopefully it does. But while waiting for that, I'll click on connect. So Kusi, back to your question. When you click on connect, I mean, you can still connect, but does it show you SSH clients on your end? Yeah, just let me know if it does and what do you see on the screen. Okay, so this is also not working. Yeah, but I'm gonna SSH in 2 days and let's see what's going on right there. So it will not give you SSH client. Yeah. So you can SSH then, uh, because you will need the pin if you want to SSH into it. But I think you have access to Instant Connect. I think you have. Sorry, one sec. Let me close this up. Come on. I think you have access to the other options to connect to the instance, like the EC2 Instant Connect. I think this just opens your this opens your instance right here on the browser. Yeah, and that's what it does. You can connect right here, connect it to just it will open this on the browser. So I think you can also, yeah, you can do this right here. Well, SSH client, I think you need a pin. So okay, so let's connect. I'll just copy the example. So it's the same thing and just hit that. Okay, you terminated it and create a new one. Cool. Okay, so I'll go ahead and connect to the machine. Are you sure you want to continue connecting the key? Yeah. I want to. I'll type yes. It's to connect to the IP address. Okay, so we're able to connect. So let's check what is going on. Uh, let's check the status of our deploy demo. It says running. Okay, so this is fine. Let's check make guess if it's running. It says it's running also, so this is also fine. It's active and it's running. Okay, so let's make a call to the local host and see. Localhost port 300 works fine. It returns the JSON code that we have on port 300. Yeah, just calling localhost also. Yeah, that also works. So everything here is working fine. So hello. No problem. If you're late, you can always, rewatch the video. So from everything we see the terminal, everything is working fine. Like everything is active and is returning when we make a call to the local host. It returns the JSON right here. So everything is working fine. Not sure why it's not opening on the browser. I'll just go ahead and refresh and see if it comes up now or not. I don't know why it's not. This is the public IP, and I expect it to open our code, like just the, yeah, I don't know why it's not opening. Like, honestly, I don't know why. It should. The the terminal shows the code's working, everything is working, so not sure why it's not opening. Like, not pretty sure why it's not. I'll just copy it, open it in incognito, just to mesh, root out cache. I see. It should open. It should open. I'm not sure why it's not opening. Can't reach this page. Why can't you reach this page? I don't know why. Mm, Okay, I will come back to this to find out why. So I'll try to. It should open. Not sure why it's not opening. Well, let me put it behind the load balancer and see. But this should open. Actually, let me find out why it's not opening. Let's do the research and see if I'm missing any step. I doubt I am. This is the auto IP address, so it should be open. But for some reasons, it's not. So let's find out why. Mhm. Mhm. I'm trying to see if I'm missing anything. I'm able to, let's check the networking again. The security group. Let me go to the security group. Actually, without going there, let's just check. Yeah, yeah. So this should work. We have a white card to the EC2 that should allow it to work, like to be accessible from anywhere. So that shouldn't be a problem. Well, let me open the security group one, check. Because the problem is outside the server, not inside the server. So let's check the inbound rules. We have HTTP. Oh, I see. Okay, I see the problem right here. So for inbound rule, the HTTP protocol is only available to our security group. It's not available to, like, we can't connect to it from any other place. So we can connect through SSH. That's why SSH is working fine, right? So we can connect through SSH. So SSH is working fine, but we can't connect from HTTP because, again, we only accepted the source to be from the security group of the load balancer. So if I only want this to be accessible just from the load balancer, I could just leave it this way. But so I want to make a test just to make sure it's working as expected. So I'm going to edit. I'm just going to add a new inbound rule, a HTTP protocol. HTTP, and I'm going to leave it at wildcard from IP4. Okay, and I'm going to save the rules, and that should fix the problem. Okay, so I'll just go back here and refresh, and that should work. That should work. That should actually work. And that will work. I'm just going to go back here. Not sure. I'm just closing this. Copy the IP. I'm going to copy the IP. This is a public IP. I'll just copy that. Open an incognito just in case that was a cache. But this should work now. And just open it up. Yeah, just continue. I know it's not secure. Yeah, and it's working. Okay, so the problem was we didn't make it available. Like we didn't specify, we didn't make it available through HTTP to the rest of the world or from a specific IP address. So which is what we just did from the network security group. The inbound rule, I just added this right now. So before now we only have HTTP yeah, we only have the HTTP we only have the HTTP to be available only to the load balancing group, the load balancing security group. So what it means, like, you can't get access to whatever is running on this server except you go through the load balancer, right? So yeah, that was literally what was happening. So just for a test, I added another inbound rule right here, and I made it a white card. So I'm able to, again, we're able to SSH because we already have SSH protocol. We already have SSH protocol in place and white card, so I can access it from anywhere with my key. But this was not there, so I just added this, so I'm able to access that. Okay, so with that in place, I mean, I can remove it if I want to, but I just leave it right there. One sec. This should be the private window. I'll just go ahead and close that. And hopefully this should open on a new tab here. Hopefully. Let's see. Yeah, it does now. Okay, so next step, we are going to place a load balancer behind our application. So we're going to put the application behind the load balancer, which is this step right here. Oops, come on. The browser put to sleep this tab. So we have done this so far. Resource group, VPC, security group. Yeah, security group we have. Load balancer, that's what we're about to do right now. We created a load balancer. We launch EC2. We launch the EC2. So we need to create a load balancer. Yeah, I mean, you can also take a look at why do we want to create a load balancer, an application load balancer, and why, like an analogy of it, like what is it like? I think I gave that example already, like a recession it or like a cup traffic, and why, so that it monitors and routes the instances in multiple places where it should be. So let's do this. Go to EC2. We're going to create a target group for this first. And we're going to set the type to be instances, the name, we'll just give it this name. Make sure that it's also living on this VPC. And yeah, register and deploy. So let's go back to the console. Right here on the EC2 console, just check down here. You should see target group somewhere here. Where is it? Target group. Under load balancer, you should see target groups. So we're going to click target group. Inside the target group is where we now have our load balancer. So this is like what the target group should focus on. Then there's a load balancer that uses the target group to communicate with, do whatever we want it to do. So under the EC2 console, just check the load balancer session and click on target groups. Do I have one already? No, I don't. So go ahead and click and create one. Type is instance, so we want to support load balancer to instance in a VPC with auto scaling groups and EC2. Yeah, that's what we want to do. Give it a name. I call it demo target group. Protocol, yeah, HTTP port automatically support port 80. VPC, make sure you select the VPC we created earlier, which is deploy demo VPC. I think that's all. Is that all for here? Yeah. So head check, the path should be, yeah, the initial slash. We don't need to do any settings right here. Just go to the next one. This is basically where you register available instance. And this is the instance running, and this is the instance we want to target. So just click on include spending below. So just add that. So that will be added here. Click on next and create. That should be all. Okay, so this service is successfully created. Apply to register target. Results can be viewed in targets. This is, let's see, refresh. The head check is still on use, so we need to configure the target head also. So right here, open target, click on, is it healthy yet? No, it's not ready. So let's see. Okay, so the target group is not configured to receive traffic yet from the load balancer. Okay, that's fine. So we need to create a load balancer for it to actually receive something from here. So target group created. So we need to create our load balancer. So go to still right here under load balancer, click on load balancers. Create a load balancer. Let's give it a name. Call it deploy. Yeah, type is an application load balancer. So we just want it. We don't want to be able to get access to application from here. What's the name? Is a deploy demo application load balancer. Internet facing, yes. IP version 4, yes. The VPC we're targeting, name is deploy demo VPC. Availability zones, both of them, both US East 1. So this we actually, since we selected the VPC, inside the VPC, we have these two subnets. And the two subnets, one is in US East 1A, the other one is in US East 1B. So we have like US East 1A and US East 1B. So two availability zones. What next? I think that should be all. Oh, security group. Make sure you're selecting The security group also, what's the name? Yeah, Elastic. The security group we created earlier. We created we created two security groups, one for the load balancer and the other for the EC2. So this is the one we are making use of right now, the load balancer security group. For the listening, we want to listen to HTTP port 80, and we want to forward to what are we targeting? The, the target group we just created right now. So we want to target that. That should be all. So the name, the schema should be internet facing, the scheme, IP4, target group, security group, sorry, and then the target group right here. Okay, I think that should be all. You can go ahead and hit on create the load balancer. So if I did not create the HTTP the HTTP security port we opened earlier that allows us to be able to view this from this IP. I mean, we can only access it right now. Like if I don't have that already, we can literally access it from the load balancer. So the load balancer should give us it will give us an IP like the DNS name like right here. Just this, we can actually access our application from the load balancer DNS name. But it's still provisioning, so let's see. It takes some time. Refresh. Still provisioning. Yeah, it takes some time. Let's wait for that. Then we test it out. Give it a few seconds. Okay, let's see. Yeah, still provisioning. It just takes time. I mean, if I open this, nothing is going to show up right here. I'm sure of that because it's still provisioning. Yeah, nothing will show up. So we just have to wait. Okay, so it says active. So that means if we go to the DNS name, yeah, so this should be working. Let's test. It's not. If let me do a hard refresh, that should work. Not sure why it's not working. Again, let's try incognito. Hmm, not working. Why is it not working? Let me go back to target group. This is our target group. The head is still showing unused. Not sure why. Okay, so now it's healthy. That means it's actually pointing now. So I believe this should work now. Yes, it's working. So I just give it few seconds to propagate properly. So this works. So our application, again, I can literally go back to the EC2. Where is it? I can just access it from here. I can go back to the EC2, go back to the security group, which is here, and get rid of the inbound rule that allows anyone to access the application from a instance IP directly. So I can just edit that. And that should be this right here. So if I delete that, which we didn't have initially, I just added it so I make sure that our applications is running. If I delete that, if I refresh this IP, it shouldn't work anymore because we don't have access to it. I just do a hard refresh. Yeah, it's taking time. So I just open it on an incognito window. Yeah, I don't expect that to work. It should not work, and it will not work because we have closed, you know, we have closed the security gate that allows anyone to access it from here. But then we should be able to access it. Yeah, it's no longer working, which is expected, right? Because we just closed that gate that allows anyone to access it from the EC2 directly. So we just closed that. So that is not working anymore. Okay, so it can only access it now from our load balancer, which is here, and it has two availability zones. Let's see. So if yeah, the load balancer will keep working because it has access to it has access to the virtual machine on HTTP port. Okay, so with that in place, let's move to the next stage, which is scaling, right? So literally, this is what we're going to do. We are going to set up template, a launch template that mirrors everything we want to do in case of disaster. We give it instruction on what to do. 1 second. We have created a load balancer, target group, load application load balancer. So we can check this. So the next step is auto scaling right here. We're going to create a launch template. We're going to create, just in case you're wondering, this is literally where we are right now. We have this already. We have this, but we don't have this yet. So this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to create the auto scaling template and auto scaling group that will copy like a mirror of our instance and also the data that we have. So if something happens, which we're going to also experiment that. If something happens, we want to spin up a new instance. Okay, so let's go back to the console. And for this, go to your EC2, right? Up here, you'll see launch templates. So you're going to create a launch template. Do we have one already? No, I don't. Click on create a launch template. I'll give it a name. I'll call it deploy demo launch template. I mean, all the whole name I'm using is for easy access when I want to delete them. This is a description if you want to. A product web server or my app, whatever you want to call it. What do we need? We need the application image currently in use. Let me see. You'll just go to currently used. That should find the one that's currently in use on your EC2. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's taking time. Okay, so currently use is this, and I will still go ahead with that. Yeah, I'll just select that. If you want to use other ones also, you can. But I mean, if we're trying to create an identical instance, so we need to use like the current one running on our machine. Not pretty sure why console is laggy when you want to select an image. Like Not sure why it's doing this, but yeah, it is. I'm not even sure if it has selected or not. Have you? So, anyways, so security group selected. Sorry, the image selected. Uh, do we need an instant type? We can. I'm not sure this has been selected already. Has it? It has not. If it have, it will automatically select this. I'll just do this. I'll just go to quick start. Not sure why it's a little bit laggy when I'm trying to select. So I'll just go here and I'll just select the Amazon kernel, Amazon Linux. Come on, it's just laggy. Okay, so this gives me the free trial. Yes, that's what the one I want to use. Do we need an instant type? Yes, so I'll go with M3. Yeah, see, two vCPUs, 1 GB of RAM. That's the one we used earlier. Keeper, if I want to, yes, I will. I already have one. Don't actually need to include this in the launch. You can use it just in case you want to log into any of those machines, just in case you want to. I'll just I just pick the last. I can't even remember the name again. I think something MH, something cloud. I mean, I can just skip this part. I think it was something cloud MH. I'll just check. Control J. Yeah, cloud MH. That's what it was. Just in case. But I mean, in real world, you don't want to be accessing into these vaults. Just in case I want to. Cloud MH was the name, so I can still use that key to log into any other virtual machines that are being spinned up from this template. For the networking, let's see. For security group, we want to select from existing one, which is the app. Where is it? Which is EC2 security group we created. Can't find it here. I'll search for it. EC2. Actually, I think I have the full name. I'll just find the full name and search with it. There we go. So the app, okay, app EC2 security group. Want to use existing security group. Wants to use existing subnet too. Our subnet is public subnet A. Availability zone. Let's see. We actually need to. So, okay, I don't think we need to select a subnet. If it comes that, if we already set a security group, that should automatically come from there. But let's see. Can I not select one? Okay, don't include any. Just include the existing security group right here from this VPC. Let's see advanced network settings. We don't need to do any changes here. Yeah, I'm still checking if we need this or not. Yeah, I guess we don't, since they are also attached to a security group right here. I think we need our data from right here, user data again. So I'll go back to GitHub and just copy and paste that. And just in case you're wondering, like in the real world, do teams actually do this all the time? Uh, Again, they do it once and they don't do it all the time, right? So they can actually do to actually be done programmatically. So what I mean, they can actually use infrastructure as a code to script how everything will work. Using maybe CloudFormation or Terraform to script how the infrastructure should all be in place. You know, configure auto scaling, load balancers, and all the rest of them, all from the script, right? So literally, that's what is being used in real world. But they can also do it from the terminal, sorry, from the console. Configure all these configurations right here on the console. Okay, I'll just copy this, go back to our launch templates and paste that in there. I think that's pretty much it. But just in case this, let's see. I think that's all we need. Then we can create. So once we have a subnet created, this has been created, okay? I don't need to view it. I think the next thing we need to do is create an auto scaling group now. So we're going to create an auto scaling group that will use that template. So still right here, instances, look for, that should be under auto scaling. Click on auto scaling, hit an auto scaling group. Give it a name. Let's see, demo auto scaling group. Launch template, select the template we just created right now. Go to the next. Okay, so this is where we're going to attach the subnets. The VPC, make sure we are on the VPC we created earlier. For the subnets, we should have both of them right here. So subnets, public subnet A and public subnet B. That should be all. So we have ability zone distribution balance. I think this is like a new feature. Haven't seen this before. Yeah. If launches fail in one availability zone, auto scaling we attempt to launch in another healthy availability zone. Yeah, I think that's what we want to do. Okay, I think this is fine. Go to the next. Okay, so for the load balancer, we want to attach an existing load balancer, which is we created one earlier. Target group, we called it deploy demo. Yeah, target group. Okay. There's one more thing I'm waiting for. Turn on the elastic load balancing head check recommended. I'll turn that on. I'm looking for the group size. Okay, that should be on the next page. This is literally where we specify like the maximum and minimum capacity of things we want to spin up. So for the minimum, I'll leave it at 1. For the maximum, leave it at 3. So literally, this is like, okay, we can't spin up more than 3 instances at the same time if there's need to. Like, you don't want to spin up more than 3 instances at the same time. So masses. So if this one fails, spin up 1. You can spin up another one, but it shouldn't pass 3. Yeah, I'll mention this if we talk about things not to do. Yeah, this is like things part of things not to do, right? If you forget to specify, uh, maximum capacities, what happens when one of the system crashes and the machine like more bills coming from the infrastructure? Okay, I think that's pretty much all we need to do. You can leave everything as you can create. Enable group matrix collection within CloudWatch. We'll get to that, but we can actually create this. You can add a notification just to know when auto scaling launches or terminates an EC2 instance in your auto scaling group. So this is, you can also add you can use DNS, what's it called, SNS topic to notify yourself when it's, you know, if when it's spinning up an instance or when it's terminating one. I'll skip that. I think that will actually ask to create the topic and all of that. But we're not diving into this topic right now, so I'm not going to create any topic. One more required field missing. Not sure. Oh, I have to remove this. Okay, next. I'll just skip tags for now. Easy review. And I think we're all good here. I'll just click on create auto scaling group. Okay, so next we need to add an auto scaling behavior. So still on your auto scaling group, just go ahead and open it. Go to automatic scaling, should be somewhere here, and create a dynamic scaling policy. So this is literally where we create a policy for scaling and scale out. I'll give it a name. Do you need a name? Yeah, policy type is target traffic scaling. Yes, scaling policy name. Yeah, you can leave it at what it is. Target tracking policy. The metrics, we want to monitor the CPU utilization. You can monitor network in, network out. So we focus on CPU utilization. So when there's like a heavy load on the instance, we want to add. For the targets, leave the target to, can use 20 to 25. I'll just leave it at 20. 300 seconds, that's okay. Great. Okay, so I think we have actually done most of the hard job. So now we're going to simulate overloading our instance to see what happens. We have a policy, right? Yeah, one policy right here. This is what it does. So now let's actually try to overload our instance and see what happens. So there is an utility from Apache that allows you to do that. Let's see. I think I have it somewhere. It's called AB. Yeah, forgetting the full meaning. Forgetting the full meaning. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, I think it's called Apache Benchmark. That's what it's called. It's inside Apache utilities. You can install on your terminal. I'm still logged into this machine. Yeah, no, not sure why it's freezing. Come on. No, free to show. Why it's not working now? Should I terminate you? No, I'm trying. That's pretty much not working. Let me open it up. Terminal. Ubuntu. I'm not sure why that is not opening. But we can just do that from here. So what I want to do is I want to use the Apache. So if you don't have, I think I have on the playbook here. That should be under finish polish. You should see it right here. SSH into the instance. Oh, don't think I added it here. I did not. I thought I did. Yeah, I did. So right here. So you can, yeah, you're just trying to run a stress test on the virtual machine. Can use Apache benchmark. I didn't make it more detailed, but yeah, the keyword is AB or visit the URL repeatedly to see it scale. But you're not going to do that. We're just going to use the benchmark. And if you don't have it, I think you can literally download it using sudo apt install Apache utilities right here. Yeah, that's the key. I think I made it available on right here. I think I did. Yes, I did right here. So generating traffic, you'll find it. So you can just copy the command to install it on your terminal. That's install it. We're just going to use it to overload, stimulate a real world CPU utilization. Okay, so I see a comment from Kofi. He said, I just tear down the whole infrastructure. In the process, I learned that you have to delete the associates like auto scaling and load balancer before you can take down the higher bound. Yeah, so because they are all like dependent on the other, right? So if you're looking for the right, yeah. So like if yeah, we're also going to look at cleaning up. Basically, have to start with like the auto scaling group. You have to start with the auto scaling group, then do the load balancer, target group, then the instances. They can do the rest. So let's focus on the. You can just delete the ones that actually abuse you more, which is like the auto scaling group, the load balancer, target group, and instances. Then you can get rid of the launch template, security groups, subnet, and so forth. I was that was why I created a resource group. So I can actually have access to all of them at one place. I'm not sure the resource group was working because I was not using the tags properly. Yeah, so yeah, it was not working. I was not using the tags properly. But let's go ahead and stress the application. So you can install Apache Benchmark. And how do we use that? I think it's pretty much. Do I have the example here? I do. So this command right here, we should replace this with your elastic. The load, I always call this elastic application load balancer. So replace it with the application load balancer IP. Let me just copy that right here. My load balancer IP should be. I don't want to start looking for it. I think I have it open somewhere here. There you go. I just copy it right here. Yeah, I just want to replace this with it. Yeah, just cut that. So let's do this. If you come back to your EC2, you can see you have just one EC2 running, right? So I want to see the auto scaling group in action. So I'm going to overload. I'm just going to use this command to overload the existing instance and see what happens. It says is going to try to benchmark the EC2, which is going to automatically crash. And when it does, what happens is going to be automatically unhealthy. So when it does, what happens is the auto scaling group will automatically spin up another EC2. Let's see. Completed 2,000 requests, completed 4,000 requests, going to 6,000 requests. Let's see if something is happening here or not. Okay, let me refresh this. Let me refresh these instances. Let's see what's going on. Is anything happening? Yeah, something's happening. Let's see. A new instance has been hola, hello, how are you today? A new instance has spin up automatically. Yep, using the launch template and the auto scaling group. If we take a look at the auto scaling, if you take a look at the load balancer or the auto scaling activities, let's see what's going on right there. If you look at activity, we should see what is happening. Okay, so this is what is happening. It launched a new EC2 instance automatically. Okay, so that's finished benchmarking. So something happened automatically. We didn't create an EC2. If you notice, it created by itself automatically through the auto scaling group. And yeah, if we go back to the EC2, okay, we should have like two EC2s. Oh, is one now? Maybe two. Yeah, it's actually two right now. We have two instances running. One that was created from, let me see, it shouldn't be, it should terminate the other one automatically. Not sure why it did not terminate the other one. I'm just going to run the benchmark again. Let me see what happens. Okay, I think we have like 7 minutes to go. And usually we covered a little bit of what we have to cover. And everything we've been doing so far is like a way to build infrastructures that can withstand failures, right? Making sure we have a fallback if something breaks, what should happen next, and so forth. And I think just before, because of time, I think the next stream is coming up in the next 7 minutes, which is Open Cloud in the cloud part 3, how to use the Open Cloud open source agent to help you automate tasks. Just before that, to give you some time to prepare for that, uh, just just to you can complete the rest of the demo using the link I shared earlier right here. Pretty much, I think we covered everything. We just need to. I think we already have a cloud watch. We go to our cloud watch, we can see we are not covering this, so this was not part of the demo, right? So we are not going to cover this. We can complete. You can go to your cloud watch, check what's happening right there, and let's see. Yeah, we just have two instances running. You can go to your CloudWatch, see what's happening. Yeah, basically, when you benchmark the IP, that's the load balancer, it try to overclock the CPU. That spins up the auto scaling group automatically because it finds that this guy is being this guy is being stressed a bit, so I need a backup just in case it crashed, right? So it spins off another virtual machine with the instructions we have given it, just in case just in case this other one crashes. This other virtual machine will still be pointing to our load balancer, and our application will also be on. So the time it takes, so if the time it takes for the launch template to spin up a new instance and the one already, been crashed, that time it takes for that recovery is literally what we called, what's it called? What we called code start time. That like the code starts time. The small time it takes for this guy to terminate or crash, and the time it takes for the auto scaling to spin up one. So that literally what building like an infrastructure that can resist. Like there's much to it, but this gives you an overview of what it's like. Building infrastructures that can withstand total failure of your application. Okay, so you can play along with it, and Don't forget to delete your services when you are done. And also, I'll be dropping the feedback link on the chat. So let us know how the Global Hack Week class has been going so far, and if you have any feedback, things we can improve, also let us know. Okay. And just before we call it a day, I just want to point out things you should not do, which we have covered up literally throughout the demo. Like we'll be doing things we should do, right? Making sure like we only have security groups and give it access to the users that need access or locations that need access to it. So that are like things you should do. Other thing is a single point of failure. Don't host everything in one place. Don't host your application, database, APIs. Like every single thing is inside one EC2. That happens if the EC2 fails, then every other thing fails, which you don't want. Uh, Again, basically everything we did here was manual, at coding the code and stuff. In real world, you don't want to do that. You want to use like infrastructure as a code, like Terraform, CloudFormation to do that. So in real world, you don't want to do that. And then lastly is observability. So make sure you observe everything, just like what we're doing. When I was creating the auto. Sure. Yeah. Thank you for everyone that joined next stream. And of course, don't forget to leave your feedback. Let us know how the Global Hack Week has been going so far and what we can do better. Okay. Thank you, and see you some other time. Bye bye. Yeah. And if you have questions, you just ask on the Discord and tag me, and I'll be there to answer your question. If you run into any issues or need any help, just ask me, and I'll be able to help you there. Okay. Bye.